What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Watchmen Season 1, Episode 1 video review. So, if you like me, you would have, and if you've read comics when you're growing up, you would have read The Watchmen, which is the seminal comic book. In my opinion, it is the greatest comic book to ever exist. There is no greater comic book in art, in style, the way the panels are laid out, the way the story is told across a sprawling epic. And the subject matter is dealt with gravitas and nuance by Alan Moore. And Dave Gibbons provides some of the greatest art in simplicity and design. There's not really been a greater comic book ever. And really, it is unfilmable. Alan Moore has quite multiple times stated that, well, his properties, his comic books, can never be filmed. Now, of course, there was V for Vendetta with Hugo Weaving, which I actually really enjoyed. I really thought that was a great movie. Then we also had Zack Snyder's Watchmen, which I thought was, again, very, very good. I thought that the way he dealt with it was very well. We had 300 by him. We had, of course, as well, Watchmen. And there was a few others which not as good. But nonetheless, The Watchmen, the movie, I thought was one of, well, not the best adaptation that could have been done, but it was the best they could do with, well, a movie. And Terry Gilliam wanted to do a mini-series like we've got. But here we've got Damon Lindelof here helming the Watchmen TV show. Now, I've deliberately kind of stayed away from it, away from the news and everything, because I was expecting the show really to be a mini-series version of the comic book. But I started watching it and I had to Google. And, well, it's very much a sequel. It's set some 30-something years after the Blight, or at the end of the Watchmen, when the space psychic alien thing came down and destroyed New York. Now, what is very jarring for myself is that currently in DC Comics, we already have a sequel. We have a sequel known as Doomsday Clock, written by Scott Snyder. Now, Doomsday Clock is the sequel where everyone found out that Ozymandias was behind that atrocious attack on New York, and, well, they weren't too happy about it. Now, after the attack on New York, there was peace. But then, slowly, as time went by, there was no more peace when they realised that, well, it was due to Ozymandias. This then led, of course, Ozymandias to get a team together to go to wherever Dr. Manhattan actually went, which was the DC Comics Earth number 1, where he has been meddling with time and has a epic showdown in his head. He can see the future. Well, he saw that he would possibly die at the hands of Superman. Now, this is bizarre because this is the TV version. This is a sequel to the comic book, and there is no reveal that it was Ozymandias behind everything. It's very much a sequel to the comic book that we had. And, well, there's no peace because, weirdly, we have the police who are wearing masks and are allied with the vigilantes against a team of Rorschach 7th Cavalry white supremacists. Now, if you didn't know, the 7th Cavalry is a historical thing. It was the cavalry that hunted down and killed the Native Americans as the Manifest Destiny happened. What's Manifest Destiny? It was the idea that the Americans got into their head to go west all the way to California, well, at least whatever that strip of land was before California, and take it all for their own. So there's a lot of different themes going on in this TV show, which is absolutely bizarre because I don't know what they're trying to say. At the start, we have a Tulsa race riot, and it seems on the surface of this, it is very much a tale of race, which wasn't really what the comic book was actually about. The comic book was about who watches those in charge. Now, of course, we had the Minutemen, we had the Watchmen, and, well, it was all about who is accountable for what they do, who will hold them to account when they do something wrong, which, at the moment, it's very telling because we have the police who are not, well, being perceived as not being held accountable for what they are doing. However, we have the woman who is very, the black woman who is here, and she is very kind of outspoken. We saw it the TV show. Oh, no, sorry, not the TV show, sorry. When we saw her talking at the school, mentioning the race riots, then we see some kid mention reparations, and her kid goes mad, and we have a whole conversation about race. But she's working with the police, who are quite naturally, or I say naturally, that's a very poor word, they are very much the enemy of people of colour in America at the moment. There is a big divide with the police not being held account with Trayvon Martin, the whole I can't breathe thing, everything like that, race-related shootings there. Now, why would she align with the police? Oh, okay. It's because we have white supremacists who are anti-police. Now, that's not what it is like in this world. The white supremacists are very, or at least the perceived white supremacists in our world, are very for the police. They're very Blue Lives Matter, and really don't believe that Black Lives Matter should be a thing, which, yeah, okay, whatever. And I feel like the TV show here is very mixing its themes up, mixing its points together in really what the hell is going on. And at the surface, it's very kind of police against white supremacists, yes. But you've got the vigilantes who are seemingly doing good things, but they're working with the police. The whole thing back in the day was when vigilantes got made illegal and they had to kind of do their own thing, then the police had to chase after them, etc. So I don't really know what they're getting at in this show. But the show is filmed very well. It looks amazing, and I'm not really sure where they're going to go with it or what they actually really want to do. But we have Aussie man, we have Adrian Veidt, who in the newspaper says that he's dead. However, he is actually alive in Britain, and he's typing up some weird things and getting his thighs rubbed by Miss Crookshanks, which is absolutely bizarre. But we know he was behind what actually happened there in New York. However, we see a brief glimpse at Dr. Manhattan, so we know he is still in the world somewhere. We see him mentioned when the egg whites thing's happening, and it seems like a lot of little things happen for no reason. Damon Lindelof, again, this is very much Lost. It reminds me of a bit of Lost where things happen for no particular reason. And we see the Minutemen being glorified on TV. Possibly the 7th Cavalry are also looking to that and thinking, oh, actually, that's a better time. We see the comedian as well mentioned. Obviously, he was killed at the start of the comic there as well. Now, what is absolutely bizarre is that this is a sequel to a comic. And, well, if you're watching this, you don't really know what's actually happened. And it's not very kind of friendly to a mass audience. Personally, I think that this won't do that well, because if my parents who enjoy TV shows like Game of Thrones, etc., they probably watch this and go, well, I've missed half of this. I don't know what's actually going on. But will it do well? Is there enough people who have watched The Watchmen, so to speak, there, or read The Watchmen, who will actually want to watch this? My girlfriend, for example, was thinking that this looked like a load of rubbish. And she can be forgiven for thinking that, because to the untrained viewer, it does look very rubbish. And there seems to be very wokeness here being stirred into the pot, but it doesn't really fit. And I don't know why they're doing this, because it is about vigilantes against normal people. But now the normal people are bad because they are perceived as white supremacists. So what are they trying to actually say in The Watchmen? Now, this was very much the first episode. It is world building. I will watch the next episode, but so far this year, comic book TV has not been very good. Supergirl was awful. Batwoman is turning into an absolute SHIT show. I'm not going to swear here lest I get demonetized, but it is a shame here that the Watchmen has fallen prey to the social justice warriors of our world. And let's pour one out for you, boy, the Watchmen. And maybe I feel with Alan Moore here that his product maybe is unfilmable. But Zack Snyder, who is derided by critics and woke fans, he did a better job. But I will continue to watch the series. If you want more reviews, let me know down below. And let me know what kind of content you actually want. But let's just say here that wokeness and social justice culture has destroyed the Watchmen. It did what others could not. But hopefully we'll see more Dr. Manhattan and we'll see where this goes next. Because Jeremy Irons is amazing. And I'll stick with it just because I've got a free Now TV pass. But that's it. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.